Alright guys, I am TheyComing, and welcome to the stream today, boys and nerds. Sorry, my shirt is doing some weird things. I'm gonna fix my collar, but let's go ahead and turn that camera on. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Monday. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's go ahead and make sure my privacy screen is open. Yes, it is. And here we are. What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? If you're catching the VOD, thank you for watching as well. Feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section letting me know what you thought of the live stream today. We have been struggling in Legend League on the season reset. Call it distraction, call it busy, tired, mentally fatigued, whatever it is. I'm feeling the need to really change it up and start experimenting with some other stuff. And so I had given it a good couple days with the Dragon Rider and Inferno Dragon army last season, and didn't particularly like that. In addition, I had tried all dragons, didn't particularly like that either. So I thought, you know what? I haven't tried the Electro dragons yet, and that's what I'm going to get after. That's what I'm going to be doing today. We're going to be on the Electro Dragon train. We're going to be giving it a good old college try. And I pulled this army from Hooked to Clash. I actually really like his content on YouTube. He does a lot of really great content for even lower Town Hall levels. He does some really interesting showcases of people that are pushing lower Town Halls up to the highest league possible, and just kind of observing the strongest strategies that they're finding for hitting up at Town Halls. And he put out this video a couple months ago where he showcased, or was it, I think it was only 3 weeks ago, where he showcased the Dragon Duke combined with the Electro Dragons. And this is roughly the composition that he had. Notably, I do not have the Greedy Raven available to me right now. It is perpetually upgrading to level 10. So that is the only real difference in this composition here. He has the Greedy Raven on the Dragon Duke instead of the Angry Jelly. Now, I can see how not having the Greedy Raven could potentially cause a pathing issue with the Electro Dragons. Part of what the Angry Jelly does is it allows him to skip buildings that are not defenses to go take those out. With the Greedy Raven, though, he is not going to be defense preferred for his opening bit of time. And what that can cause is, basically if you're on the Greedy Raven, you're clearing trash, which helps to, shave away pathing that the Electro Dragons could get ultimately sort of fanned out and distracted by. So I was considering, if not the Angry Jelly, what else could I take? And when I look at this, when I look at my host of available pets, there's only one other air pet that we could take, and that would be the owl. The owl, I guess in theory could help out the Duke, but the Duke, when he locks onto a target, ends up dealing so much damage that I just don't know that the owl is really going to offer much to him either way, other than just basically saying, okay, you're not going to target defenses. And obviously, when we do get the Greedy Raven, I do think he's onto something, basically saying that the Greedy Raven is going to be preferred over the owl. The owl just gets kind of left behind at the higher Town Halls. There's better pets that offer better value there. That being said, let's talk a little bit about sort of the composition. It's a very simple composition. The composition has 10 Electro Dragons. It has 2 baby dragons and has 4 regular loons. You're supposed to open the attack by dropping your Royal Champion, popping the Rocket Spear very, very early, If she's able to take out a defense that's on the edge of the base without taking too much damage, you can hold the Rocket Spear until that defense goes down. And then throwing the Seeking Shield, Rocket Spear combination, and just letting her die. There are certain instances where perhaps dropping a totem to protect her from a long shot so that she can kill a long shot in favor of taking down like a Revenge Tower or another important defense that's right next to that long shot can be very, very helpful. Or if the long shot locks onto her, you can in theory totem in front of the long shot so that she can use the Rocket Spears to kill the long shot. The long shot is a very strong defense on the base by himself. So I've seen him flexibly use maybe one or two, like one totem with the RC if you're going to claim that kind of value. But other than that, the Phoenix on the RC is just basically to ensure that you get some really nice defenses out of the way. And wherever you drop the RC, you're going to want to be going to an adjacent corner to then drop your Queen with the Siege Barracks. The Queen does have the action figure and the giant arrow. The arrow, you're always wanting to look for value to clear air defenses or sweepers that could be extremely detrimental to the dragon, the Electro Dragon pathing. Electro Dragons, I think, are the single air troop that are affected the most by air sweepers at these higher town halls. They have to plant in place and charge up their attack before they take their shot. And if they're constantly being pushed back, that by itself can completely shut Electro Dragons down. The attack can stall miserably. So you really want to avoid going into a sweeper. But to kind of recap, RC on one corner, Queen and Siege Barracks with an early arrow to the adjacent corner, and then the Electro Dragons between those. The Dragon Duke is dropped oftentimes onto one of the other corners. So a far corner, basically, if you drop your Electro Dragons closer to like 6 o'clock, you want to drop your Dragon Duke closer to 12 o'clock. Just to keep him as far away as possible. The revive is primarily used to pick up the Dragon Duke because the Dragon Duke will eventually die. You want to lift him so he can keep going. You need to be careful, though, that if the air army sort of wanders into the path of the Dragon Duke, there's a case to, there's certain scenarios where maybe you would slightly delay reviving him so that he wakes back up and has the Royal Rampage available to him again. But merging in that Dragon Duke towards the very, very end of the attack is usually inevitable. If you have Electro Dragons up, he is, he'll get close enough and then you just have to live with that. The Freeze and the Invis spell. The Freeze is typically used over a cluster of defenses. The Invis spell can be used over the Duke. And I think the Invis spell is almost strictly used over the Duke. Something else to consider is that because you're running a primarily air army, there might be scenarios like where during your 30-second scout, you determine that you can have your Queen and Siege Barracks away from the clan castle so that towards the end, basically as the attack progresses, your Queen and those ground troops are likely to die out so that they don't end up tripping any ground troops like Ice Golems. Ice Golems can also be a back-end stall for an Electro Dragon army, as well as your Dragon Duke. You really don't want the Dragon Duke to be under heavy threat while he's being frozen by Ice Golems. So there are some fine points to really suss out, but every single attack that I saw him do, he was using the Siege Barracks with the Queen. So instantly throwing the arrow, pausing a second for the giant to approach the first defense, and then immediately dropping the Siege Barracks. Soon after, dropping the Electro Dragons on one of her flanks, basically between where you have dropped your Royal Champion. That is the general premise for the army, and we're going to do our best to go out there and kick some butt. So do I expect a 6-pack or like 3-star every single time? No, this is a new army for me. But I figure I need to take the pressure off myself and try using new things. New seasonal defense is going to be brutal for ground attacks, and if I'm constantly warden charging, that's another major threat that hits the warden extremely hard when it lands and then continues to burn him. So if you have 2-point defenses locked on and then you get hit by one of those volleys from the lava launcher, your warden is going to be all but cooked. And I can imagine that warden charges you're probably going to see warden charges dying out. What's up, Mozzarella? How's it going, dude? Welcome to the stream, my guy. Welcome to the stream. Glad you're here, buddy. Looks like the Dominant Tour War is a little bit cooked. We did have a bit of a mismatch with a Town Hall 15 and 16 on top. We're not able to clear the map, and they did clear the map, so that war, I think, will be our first L since we have banded up. But, you know, can't blame us. We're running 11s through 14s. All right. So here's the army. Again, RC one corner of the base. Queen Siege Barracks on the other. Perhaps dropping one totem for the RC in order for the RC's rocket spears to kill something like a long shot. If not, let the RC die. After the Queen plus Siege Barracks and Arrow has been deployed, drop the Electro Dragons between with your loons. On the opposite corner of the base, usually from the Queen or the RC, that's where you want to put your Dragon Duke. He's going to be on a solo mission, and you deal with life at that point. The revive is for the Duke. The freeze and the invis specifically is almost always used on the Duke, and the freeze can be used to hit like a revenge tower or, you know, particularly dense section of defenses that would benefit from that. But let's go. Arrow, we always want to try to line up sweepers or air defenses, and we cannot attack into sweepers because that usually does not work out. First legend attack. Here we go, nerd. Okay, we want to make sure you're on air. It's a little odd. You're not on air. We need to make sure we get that selected. Now, this is probably very good for Electro Dragons. There's 2 sweepers in the core of the base. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the RC on the top. Try to line up a Queen Arrow probably through that air defense right there to hit his sweepers. And we're going to cross our fingers and pray. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Throw this. Okay. Then 1 Electro Dragon. Gonna get our Queen down like this. Wait a second. I think we got them both. Air Warden. Let's go ahead and rage in here, and we're going to totem you. Hit the ability, send you over here like this. I'm going to turn you around. We're going to rage right here. I'm going to freeze you. I'm trying to freeze you, but I'm bad. Well, that was entirely user error on my part. I was trying to freeze and it was not letting me freeze. And of course, I've completely goofed that. Hey, I don't feel so bad here about this. I didn't put my loons down either. Okay, so that's something to consider. Let's put this down like that. Okay. I don't feel so bad about that. I think that was the perfect base to find. But given we have 0 practice, I'm okay with that. We hit the sweepers. I was trying to freeze and I couldn't freeze. I didn't totem enough. What's up, Gravity Neon? How's it going? Good, I'm about to leave to go home from work. That's what's up, Mozzarella. What's up? Gravity Neon. Damn, that Revenge Tower. No, the user error, I didn't deploy spells enough. I didn't do enough there quickly enough. So let's see if anyone is online. I don't see anybody online. Could use a little bit of support if anyone is going to log in. So I'll have to gem my CC. Let's do the second hit. Okay, where are the sweepers at? Sweepers are pointed that way. Okay, I see the air defenses. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get the queen in to do the dirty work. So what we'll do is we'll do this. I'm going to pop her now. Drop you over here. And that's the angle. I'm going to look to arrow straight through that wall, through that gold mine when the wall goes down. All right, not too bad. Cool. Get this. Let's do this. An early rage right here. Do that. I'm going to send you over here. Gonna rage this side, I think. I'm gonna totem again. Totem onto the queen. Freeze it. Okay, totem you. We're not doing bad. This is looking good. At least that's my impression here. Get that going. I'm gonna let him die. And then wait to pick up. This is definitely crushed. 100%. There we go. There we go. Second attack, picking up a triple. Sick. Couple swag spells, too. That base was begging for it, man. It was nicely... It provided really good pathing for the Electro Dragons. I feel good about that. I feel good about that. Let's request see if anyone else is online. I don't see anybody yet. But... Someone... Dude, actually, Region Redox, I cannot accept you because I've hopped in and out enough and they haven't given me Elder status. It won't even let me accept you. At least right now, I'm just a regular member. I would hit that button, though. 100%. I would hit that button. Let's see, what do we have here? Anything fun? No? Okay. Give it another 10 seconds and go ahead and gem ourselves. Yeah, no one's on. We're by ourselves right now. We're by our lonesome. Hit the gem button. Cool. All right, let's do it again. All right, the sweepers are here. I want to hit at least one of those sweepers with my arrow. Okay, so I'll do the same thing. We'll go with you up top like this. Slide you in. We'll do this. 1, 2, 3. We'll throw this now. Get that there. Queen over here like this. We got one sweeper. Early rage. Warden ability. Are we moving or are we stuck? I can't see what's going on. Bro, what's happening to my troops? How am I this dead? What? Did I hit every air trap in the base? Oh, this is a fat rip. I don't even know what to say. I have to watch that again. I have no clue what happened. I'm very confused. Do this, do that. Hit this. Hit the revenge tower for me, please. Okay, so he goes down. Gonna wait for those skellies to go up there. I have no idea. Like, was everything up there at the town hall? Okay, we're over here. I'm gonna do this. Okay, do this. I'm a little clueless here. If I'm being real, I'm a little clueless. I'm a little clueless. I have to watch that immediately. I guess he had every air trap in the base? What was our... What was the problem? We hit an early rage. We hit an early ability. Hold on. We need to get to the part where I actually drop the dragons. Okay. What happened? The Raged Infernos? Were they really frying me that hard? Bro. That was brutal. All right, note to self. I can't do that then. You can use the Rage and the Ice spell, then the Warden. But one freeze would only have hit one of the Infernos. Those Infernos are spacing just far enough that one freeze would only have covered one of them. I'm not sure how to conquer that. I mean, perhaps like if I just picked another entry, like the Duke might have been able to go in there at the end But they got fried. Like, really fried. Got you on the headphones while I'm trying out my new zero-turn Gravely. Zero-turn Grave. What? What's up, Doc? Stop the Guardian for the sec. Or drop the totem. I think I totemed him. $60-inch deck. Zero turn grave. Okay. Let's go. All right, we hit a 2-star. All right, I see the sweepers pointed on either side. I think we want to arrow here and then send... Okay. So let's see if we go like this. I really want the sweeper here. Totem him. I don't want to rage yet. I want to rage now. No, do this. Freeze this, rage this. Totem him again. Are we completing the core or no? I'm actually going to invis the core there to see if I can actually get that done. Let's do this. Do this. Town Hall is still a thing. Death damage. Okay, this. Okay. Do this. I think we have the time. It's just these... I've lost my Royal Rampage. He's so low, though. Like, we should be able to get it, right? Like, I don't think we get stopped here. Those baby dragons, unfortunately, just kind of slowed down the Duke. Now, we're going to hit the Town Hall once or twice. And the baby dragons will fry out, and we'll cap this. Okay, we got it. Nice. Nice. All right. So right there, we did get I think we got a solid freeze off on that core. I need to look at if that core was a little more closer together. It was, I think. So we were able to freeze his bomb hive, his multi, and the long shot together, which I think was enough. At least I think that's what the freeze hit. Let's fast forward through and see what I actually hit with the freeze. All right, hang tight. Good. Okay, yeah, so I did hit the freeze over the bomb hive, one of the multis. And you know, in theory, if I think if I had frozen or if I had invised when I had one more Electro Dragon alive, we would have cleared the core by invising the Electro Dragon, because he's raged, right? Does he get a shot off or not? He did. He got one shot, so 2 shots I think would have cleared the compartment. Okay. Sick. This feels quite strong, but the big thing that we learned right away is be careful about stuff like this. Like, that section is going to be tough. I would really like to take that monolith down. But I also see that I can arrow through and get both sweepers with a really good arrow. So, you know, I'm going to actually depend on my world champion over here. Queen is going to go right here. Cool. Drop that now. One Electro Dragon. One of these. Nice. We got the Revenge Tower out. Huge. Alright, we're going now. Going to totem him. Rage right here. Use the Eternal Tome. I could have held, probably. Let's freeze that. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do that. Okay, so we've died across the core. But I've got these super minions that are up. That'd be really nice to get the Inferno down. I'm holding because I don't want to, like... Yeah. Perfect. So we'll go like this, and we'll totem here. I think I'll rage here too, right? Because he's going to make this circle. Oh my god, did I really just burn that rage for no reason? Should have held it. But he has a good minute. Alright, let's totem right here. Totem again over here. Okay. I don't think we triple. Luckily, the Duke is handling this stuff, handling this damage pretty well. Let's do that real quick. Poof. All right. Close one. Close one. Have you tried Dragon Riders? Yes, I freaking hated it. Which is why I picked up E-Drags. So far, my experience with E-Drags has been far better than Dragon Riders and Inferno Dragons. Like, hands down, could not stand Dragon Riders. Let's go. All right. Where are your sweepers? There's one somewhere in there. I can't see it. Oh, one there and one there. Okay. So they're both pointed up. Okay. I think this. Then I think also... Well, that wasn't exactly what I wanted to happen, but... Go like this. Go like this. Poison this. With this rage here. Totem you. Totem over here. Totem here. Totem here again. Rage here. Freeze you. Oh man. We didn't hit the town hall, did we? Ah, rough. That's a 1. Oh my god, that sucks so bad. I went right at his town hall and we still didn't get it. Damn. Alright, where's the percentage then? Like up here, I think. That sucks. I wanted my arrow as well not to go this way. I wanted to throw it that way. And so that was... I think maybe that also kind of screwed me. And that's the attack. Rip in pieces. Stream's been quite late for me recently. Clocks changed on Sunday. Yeah. I mean, I've been starting a little bit later than usual, just across the board. Let's see, how many attacks we have left? We have 2 more. So we've hit some good triples today. With literally 0 experience with the army. Just a little bit of quiet study. Let's see how we do on this one. Alright, this is another one. I think we might have hit this earlier. Oh, his sweepers are facing up. Okay, let's go like this. We're going away from the town hall. We missed the sweepers too. That's so annoying. We didn't get his mono didn't go down either. That makes me very sad. Poison you. Alright, your job is going to be to go get this monolith, and we're going to totem. Totem over here. Freeze you here. Totem right here. Rage you guys here. Pop that. Do this. Do this over here. Okay. It's still moving. Totem you again. Alright, I think we have to wait. Queen is up. Oh my gosh, stop, tornado trap. That is so obnoxious. That is so obnoxious. I'm legitimately shocked. How did we die in the position that we died, but not trip his NATO? Giant arrow, the sweepers. You need to put the queen on the right side, like, so to get both sweepers. Yeah, I thought I was going to get one of them, but we didn't get either. I missed the arrow. All right, we get one more hit today. I like this strategy, though. Like, it's just like any other strategy. I think what people assume about air spam is that it's brainless, but no, you do need to accomplish certain goals for the attack to work. All right, his sweepers are pointed down. Okay, an arrow through gets both sweepers and 2 air defenses. Okay, and then RC at 12. So queen at 9, RC at 12. All right, let's put you down first. Also do this early. We missed the... We got one of them, but not the other. Alright, let's go ahead and wait a second. Rage here. Totem there. Totem again. Rage here. Totem here. Totem again. I don't know what to totem yet. We'll totem you right here. Okay. I think we have a good shot, actually. Okay. Do this. Get the air defense for me, man. Why did it target the Duke first? Okay. Alright, so that's happening. I'm going to give it some time. We have so much time that I think if we let these air troops kind of run their course, I think this is wrecked. Let's drop you here. And I'm pausing. I'm waiting. We have time. We don't need to stress. All the percentages right there. Now we revive. Can freeze. And it's a triple. Nice. See what I meant by lining up the sweepers? Yeah, dude, I get it. I understand what the premise is. Part of it's execution, but sometimes also like the sweepers, maybe they're not pointed in the direction that you're going to attack. So it doesn't necessarily matter for the sweepers. You can get ADs instead. All right, so let's see how we did today. Using a strategy I've never used before, ever, I ended up with 3 triples, 2 1-stars, and the rest doubles. I have to say, these 1-stars, that 1-star, I think the first 1-star, let's check out what that looked like. Got 2 of them in a row, too. That sucks. What was this one? Oh, we did send our Electro Dragons directly at the Town Hall. But our arrow, I fumbled the arrow. I accidentally threw the arrow this way when I dropped her. It was my mistake. I meant to get that air defense, which would have probably helped out tremendously with some of this flanking damage. But you can see, like, I set this up, like, pretty well. As long as the arrow hits that air defense, I think we're looking a little bit stronger. But then here, I guess I should have probably frozen this combination of defenses. But all my stuff just kind of got melted. That Duke jammed me up. I couldn't really see what was happening. I didn't really understand, like, what the problem was, because the base just hits you so hard so fast when it's got this double rage and everything stacked together. And then what was the other 1-star? The other 1-star was second to last one. This one, I was looking at these sweepers thinking, I thought maybe I couldn't get the sweepers. Maybe the call was to go for like an arrow through the mine or the collector to try to get the sweepers. And then that way we could have attacked directly into the town hall. Because trying to take a corner arrow would have only given us 1 sweeper. But I thought, okay, you know what? RC, we're going to be able to trade out for this monolith. The queen's probably going to get some decent value over on this side. We can support her with the Duke. But then the RC barely doesn't finish this off. So I put my Duke down over there, and then he had the NATO trap of the century on my Duke when we hit the town hall area. Yeah, I did see that when I was attacking, but I thought because I was attacking from this direction, it wouldn't have mattered. The problem is like, when I got into the base, the attack started to fizzle. This rage compartment, or these this rage triple multi. Today was the day that I learned that this is very brutal for Electro Dragons. This shape of a compartment deals way more damage to Electro Dragons than I would have thought prior to using them. Because they're tanky, right? Like, they're supposed to be pretty beefy. But I think my second attack, I ran into a base that had a very similar compartment. It may have even been the exact same layout. And I attacked it directly into the town hall, and I got fried. Like, completely fried. And I'd used my ability. I'd been putting totems down. I got fried. Like, I didn't even make it out of the compartment with the Electro Dragons. Huge. Went 320 on three of first 4 days with Meteor Golem. Dang. Wow. Not what I would have expected. I think ground is about to get hard checked, though, by that lava launcher. The lava launcher looks quite strong. And of course, if everyone's going to be trying to defend those throwers, the lava launcher is going to be what people take. And, well, lava launcher doesn't affect air. So find I get worse the more I use an army. I peak on my first time using an army. Well, sometimes it's like I really dug into Fireball Rocket Loon. And I want to say, like, after like using it for about a month, I started peaking with it. And I don't know what it was. Like, the last couple weeks have not felt particularly good. Like, I'm messing up timing. I'm still not quite interpreting like how much damage he can take without having to like drop a totem after having dropped a rage spell on him, you know? So I was like, you know, I want to change it up and like learn a different strategy entirely. Dragon Rider Inferno Dragon did not work for me like I wanted it to, because I saw that being like, okay, this is like, you know, it's two different troops that work in tandem. You know, you have part of your army that's defense seeking, and then you have another part of your army that can come up behind that and fry heroes, long shot, all that, you know, guardian, all that sort of stuff. But when I used it, it was just like, I don't even know what the heck is going on here. I might need to revisit it after I get my hand on, get a hang of the Electro Dragon attack, because it definitely does seem like your RC drop and your queen drop, your queen value is very important. Like it makes a big difference when you get a good arrow, like when you accomplish taking 2 air defenses or a sweeper that's pointed in the direction that you're supposed to be coming in from. Oh yeah, so generally speaking though, I think that the new seasonal defenses that they've announced, and what's fun is it's all defenses that are coming over from the builder base. So we're getting the air bombs, we're getting the lava launcher, and we're also getting the roaster. The roaster can attack ground and air. The air bombs can only attack air, and the lava launcher can attack only ground. This is completely worthless if you are taking a ground spam army. This is underwhelming because it has such a mediocre range, and also the splash damage that it does deal for the troops that are typically spammed on ground. They have such high hit points that a max level roaster just kind of tickles them. It doesn't deal enough damage, and it doesn't have a good enough range. This guy, however, has an insane range, which can be used to shut down a flame flinger. It can be used to shut down any kind of warden charge, and it does substantial damage. And of course, lava launcher can hit throwers, which are ubiquitous in the metagame right now. So what I'm thinking is that people are going to be spamming lava launcher, which means that you probably want to start prioritizing air armies and learning air. So that's the train that we're on. You don't even use RC in Dragon Riders? I forget what heroes I was using for Dragon Riders. Only reason I have RC is because my Duke has been upgrading. You know, Hook to Clash has the RC over the King. And I can see why. Like, it makes sense to me. The Queen plus the Siege Barracks is 1/2 of your funnel. The RC is the other half, and if the RC clears, 5 defenses with her Rocket Spear and Seeking Shield, you can drop 1 Electro Dragon to sort of kill the trash that is left behind and establish that half of the funnel. So it's almost like dropping the RC, like definitely dropping the RC first, maybe dropping that Electro Dragon immediately on top of the RC. Because the RC is going to protect that Electro Dragon immediately. And then as soon as you do that, you're then looking for the Queen Arrow. And that's going to be something that I learn to perfect over time. The base layouts are different from lower town halls. You can line up giant arrows so easily at Town Hall 13, for example. The bases aren't very big. You don't have this wacky meta where there's an island town hall and like a six layer wall, surrounding the town hall. So it's a different base building. Town Hall 18 is a very different base building meta. And learning some of those layouts and learning where to put the queen so that she can step in to get the perfect arrow, to get the perfect sweeper value, perfect air defense value. It's going to be something that takes practice, for sure. Also, the one difference, I talked about at the very beginning of the stream, the one difference between what I'm doing with my Duke and what he did with his Duke in his video, again, hooked to Clash. Check out his video. I think it was from 3 weeks ago. He had the Greedy Raven on the Duke, not the Angry Jelly. And I understand why. It's because when you put the Duke down, the Duke can further clear trash and will more slowly approach the core of the base. So he'll be able to take a bunch of damage from an archer tower or multi-archer tower as he clears trash. And then he'll get in to tap the archer tower down. Instead of going right up to the archer tower, taking damage from the archer tower, the air defense, la-di-da-di-da, and he's done nothing to funnel trash. So when the E-Drags find that part of the base, instead of sticking inside, they start to fan out and wander like you don't want to happen at the beginning of the attack. It starts to happen at the end of the attack. And also, Greedy Raven is quite good at, because of the bonus that it gets versus resource buildings. He's actually really, really good at, dealing with the storages in those gold mines passively. So you end up soaking a lot of really great quick percentage when you put the Duke down with the Greedy Raven. But it's probably going to be, okay, I have a book of heroes that I'm going to use in 3 days. That means I'll take him to level 7 immediately. I still have to upgrade 8, 9, and 10. So I got 3 more levels. That's going to be about another month, maybe a little bit less than a month until my Greedy Raven's done, because they're 8-day upgrades. But I'll probably have a book of heroes that come in the new season pass. So maybe it'll take me a couple weeks. It kind of depends how the season pass is shaped. All right, guys, I'm going to use the bathroom real quick. When we get back, I'm going to go over and do a little bit of work on the 12 and the 13 and check in with the end of the war. But this was a ton of fun. I actually liked trying this out. This was not the initial reaction that I had to using Mass Dragons or Inferno Dragons and Dragon Riders together. Those two armies felt really, really squirrely. Like Mass Dragons, I found myself stalling super hard upon every single entry that I had. When I used Inferno Dragons and Dragon Riders, it could be that I hadn't found or studied or understood or practiced or found the correct way to create the funnel like Electro Dragons seem to have an easier time doing. The Electro Dragons, you can establish a funnel for those guys a lot easier, I think. In Inferno Dragons and Dragon Riders, you do ideally want those Inferno Dragons to get tucked in behind the Dragon Riders, because that's what helps you deal with the defending heroes with the Guardian. And if that doesn't happen, well, then you have these defenseless Dragon Riders that have a Warden that won't target the heroes, because the Warden's going to be attacking the target that are prioritized by the Dragon Riders. So if you don't get those Inferno Dragons tucked in, it can make it really challenging to actually handle a core of the base where there's cored heroes like a defending Queen, defending Prince, etc. Do you have any tips for Town Hall 16 attacks? Let's see. I was at Town Hall 16 not too long ago. What was the trip? I want to say Root Riders were really good. Root Riders are freaking good. Root Riders with an overgrowth. Can't remember if I was Warden charging at Town Hall 16 or not. But Root Riders with overgrowth is just kind of one of those cheat codes. Root Riders are very, very good at Town Hall 16 from what I remember. As long as you know how to get through the Town Hall takedown, I'd say use Roots, man. with Valks. Yeah, I'd say a handful. I think, you know, sometimes when I see Root Rider attacks, people are taking too many. So, like, the big thing is figure out what your funnel is, and you want to make sure your Valks go in with the roots. If the roots are by themselves, then it's only up to your king, your queen, your, you know, whatever's pushing behind them. That's the only support that you're going to have to deal with defending heroes in Clan Castle, because the roots don't care about them, right? So if you can't funnel, start practicing that and get to the point where you can reliably put everything you want into a single compartment, because the roots will take care of the rest. Drop your overgrowth to help, you know, help control the pathing beyond that point. I would say avoid dropping your overgrowth too early. Some people, like, I can't tell you how many attacks I've watched defense-wise on my like when this account was a Town Hall 16, where people would start the attack by dropping an overgrowth, and by the time they actually get their kill squad in the base, the overgrowth expires, and you're just looking at the screen like, you swag two spell space that you could actually use right now, and this is why you got like a 60% on a normal mode hit, you know? Thank you so much, Soap F. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. And thanks for stopping by. All right, bathroom break time. I will be back. We will continue with a little bit of work on Town Hall 12 and 13. So yeah, I would encourage you to take a lap around your house, get something to eat or drink, or use the bathroom like I'm about to do. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. We'll check in with some of the war replays from Dominant Tour, our Town Hall 11 through 14 clan. Guys, I'm loving this clan. I'm loving the lower Town Hall play. Love it, love it, love it. See you in just a moment. All right, guys, we are back. We are back. Yes, I washed my hands. I'm ready to go. I got some headset hair going on, but that's cool. Cover it up. Let's go ahead and check in with how the war turned out. This was the first war that we had that was definitely a bit of a mismatch. There was a Town Hall 16 and 15 at the top of the map that gave us a bit of grief. And as you can see, we didn't end up with a perfect war because of these top two bases. Got really close. Pull on it got really close. And neither of these bases were particularly strong 15s or 16s. But just didn't quite have the plan or the firepower to finish them off. Ironically, the best attack on the number one base was a 69% 2-star by Comrade Will. So I will show that off a little bit later. But I do want to check out some of these hits right here. This is a 13 v 14 triple. William has numerous accounts in our clan and ends up carrying our wars pretty tremendously. But you can see Will knows how to really take apart some of these bases and get value out of a handful of troops, right? It's not just a one troop composition. He really does a good job of A, using his RC charge, but B, using a handful of rocket loons to get him where he wants to go. He even gets his RC onto the town hall for a nice town hall takedown. Ends up skipping the town hall at the last second. I think he was trying to push away, and he does. He claims a third air defense with this charge before she finally falls. And if we pause for a second, this RC with, I believe it was 4 rocket loons, takes 23% of the base. He has not dropped the dragons. He has tripped the clan castle, right? He does get 3 ice golems come out, so that's going to be a bit of a nightmare for his queen to deal with. But off the back of that, you can see he sets some really, really easy pathing, and he sets the rest of the attack up for success. Here is a ground bow. Here is a ground bow. These are air bows, right? So this isn't going to threaten the dragons. Neither will this. He's only got these singles in this last air defense that's going to really mess with him. Now, he does have the siege machine, the siege barracks selected. We'll see if he changes that, but I think he goes with the siege barracks here to support his queen. And on the queen, he has the arrow and he has the action figure. Now, this arrow, I can almost guarantee you, is either going to go for sweepers or most likely, I think he's probably going to go for that remaining air defense right there. Let's see what he does. Drops the queen. He gets both. No, he doesn't get a sweeper. He actually just takes garbage. Wow. So I'm wrong. He's going to send his queen away from his dragons. He's going to approach this single target Inferno with only a handful of dragons, his warden and his prince. So he loses 1 dragon to that single, and finally is able to clear all of those ice golems that came out of the clan castle. And he's moving in. That air defense dropping is super important. Finally gets the last air defense. Single locks on, and he's got 1 more spell. Now, all the dragons that finally finish clearing the garbage at the very bottom of the base will approach. He's only got 1 more rage to use. He's going to use it in the core. Takes down the eagle. Sends minions for cleanup. And up top, he only has the single target Inferno that can shut him down here. His prince gets locked onto. But with the help of the super minions, the dragons, and also 1 more shot from the meteor staff, is going to be able to clean this up. Really, really nice usage of just a handful of cleanup troops, a handful of rocket loons, taking apart the base, taking apart, necessary, crucial defenses, setting pathing. Really, really nice. Really great RC charge, man. RC charge, I think, really set this up for success. Got a lot done, and of course, it was a hit up 13 to a 14 triple, and we needed that triple to have a shot. Let's move on down here. We got Blobby. Let's see what Blobby does. I know Blobby has changed something from the last war to this war. He's started to bring some wall breakers for his queen to try to get a little bit more value out of his queen charge. Does line up a pretty fantastic arrow here. And then he's going to march right in to this single Inferno compartment. Now, because he's got these 2 freezes, I was anticipating him to use these freezes to protect the queen charge. But what you also have to consider is that once he gets in there, when his queen steps up to deal with that eagle, he's going to be dealing with some double crossfire from those scatter shots, depending on how this sort of pans out. So he gets in there, he establishes one side of the funnel, doesn't really establish the other side. So queen ends up being pretty okay. No investment to save the queen. No investment needed, actually. And now the queen is going to be inside of the base. Looks like he's got some dragons that are taking out the final seagull target Inferno, and he's got one more totem that he can use in theory to handle this air defense on the bottom side. So we'll have to see where he invests his final totem spell here. He drops the totem onto the air defense, and honestly, you know, that's where he kind of had to drop it. But because of the way there was just, you know, there's more trash that was left on the outside, doesn't end up getting a ton more value here. So this queen plus this king end up clutching this up. King walks into the base, breaks the wall, and this, I think, was maybe a little bit of a panic king ability. If he'd waited maybe a little bit longer, basically right before he died, I think he probably could have opened these walls and it would have been even a little bit more comfortable for this queen to step in and finish this off, but she is going to get it. Queen is able to deal with the warden. There's just not enough point defense to overwhelm her with the help of the two healers and the unicorn here. Queen's going to step around, and it's gravy at this point. Didn't see how long the attack ended up being, but my guess is I don't know, he probably had a little bit of time left here. Maybe not a lot. Because once the dragons kind of die out, the attack definitely slows down a bit. Let's actually see what the total attack time was. So it looks like he had maybe about 30, 40 seconds left. So definitely not bad. Yeah, so only took him 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Not bad. Not bad at all. He did start the dragons right off the rip. All right, so let's see how Mark Davs did here. Mark Davs, how did you do? So this is a bit of a no-brainer base. You see this a lot when you're farming. Still has 5 zaps. I guess he forgot to zap the backside, or is he just going to hang on to those until he gets back there? Don't know. Goes for the zap trick now, just to speed up the attack. So not a bad choice. Does get a decent funnel for the dragons plus his world champion. I'm guessing he abilities now. Very good. He is frozen up a little bit. He gets all the way to the town hall. Gets the drop of the Yetis onto the town hall. And their only job right now is to make sure that this town hall goes down. The king's spiky ball actually rips across the core. And based on how he's able to take that down, anything that would survive is not going to path into this poison. The Queen Arrow was deployed rather late there, so he's able to ensure that he's going to have healers to make it all the way around the back side. But this is going to, once again, kind of slow down. A lot of these Mass Dragon hits, you know, once you reach the middle of the base, because he chose to broadside it instead of taking a corner first, the attack tends to stall. So let's see how it finishes up. I mean, his queen is going to have to wrap all the way around here. Luckily for him, though, this compartment is only, you know, there's no space between these defenses, so it's not like his queen is going to bypass them. She's going to counter them one by one. Everything's reachable over the wall. No awkward wall breaking or beating walls is needed to win this. And it looks like the warden's going to help him out. Now, he could hit a black mine here with that warden. Takes one air trap. Does he find a black mine over here? I'm guessing he might. But Queen is tanking everything. Oh. That is probably going to zap his warden in just a moment here when she steps away. Yep. So she actually will do a little bit of awkward beating here. But yeah, if I were to critique this, what I would say is, like, broadsiding with dragons, it can work. You can brute force it. You can overpower it, right? And limp to the finish line. But whenever you broadside a base with little to no funnel, Usually what happens is you limp to the finish line. There is a bit of finger crossing for the final minute of the attack. And, you know, he was very lucky that his queen was able to survive and remain full HP, so that when she had to beat a wall here to get that last annoying Tesla, she actually had the HP to make it through and wasn't already kind of low. So let's see. If I were to look at this base again and just judging like what could have potentially helped here. If I know he had the arrow. If he were to simply open the attack with an arrow, and then watch her walk up this way and attempt to break her in here, what that would have allowed for is he could have zapped here and here after removing both of the side air defenses. Could have zapped the top and the bottom, and you know what that leaves him with? A hell of a lot more troop space, or spell space. He would have had six additional spells that he could have used any other way. In the form of freezes, in the form of a rage, in the form of a heal. So let's watch this again. Yeah, he takes 13. So if he eliminates 6 of these zaps, or actually more, right? You only need 6 if you arrowed for 2 of these air defenses, like this and this. This is the easiest arrow to get. I think it's the most clear cut. And then you promote her to walk up this direction, because once you shoot the arrow, you've eliminated that interior threat to her healers. She can safely walk past this compartment. You would then break probably at this gold mine. She would then be encouraged to eliminate him, do this, and step in a little bit. That would give her interior access to that air defense. You could even argue that he could have taken only 1 set of zaps, only 3 zaps. That would have given him a rage to support his queen, which then would have created a tighter path for his dragons, right? If they're going to start like at this cannon and like have to deal with cannon, wizard tower down to the south, what that would then allow you to do is start your king down here, where he would then be promoted to walk up this way, break the king in to destroy the queen, and then guess what? All your dragons are going directly at the town hall. Right here is a bit of a problem, but you know what? He had a blimp. The blimp was able to remove that. Not terrible. Say he were to, after he took 3 zaps, he then took 2 extra zaps to remove that sweeper. Value play, right? Value play. So only 5 zaps needed instead of 13. That would have given him 8 spells to use. 1 rage for the queen, I think, would have been beautiful, with a wall break to get her into this compartment, to access that air defense and kill the prince. That means you would, after that rage, you'd have 6 spell slots left. You could even go for a heal and a rage right on top of this for the Yetis. And I think you overkill the base at that point. So if Mark Devs does watch this, I would strongly consider getting away from a strict 13 zap hit. Look for especially if you're running a Queen's Arrow. Throw the arrow. Trigger your healers. Throw 6 to 3. Trigger your healers. Do a little bit of love here with like 1 baby dragon, so that she's going to walk this way. Maybe even toss a couple rocket loons, right? So that she's not going to then kill this from the corner, kill this, and then loop back on the cannon. Those are things that you have to consider when you drop on the corner. Sometimes taking just the exterior trash building is not a good enough funnel to send the queen the direction that you actually want. and then send her up this way. Break here, rage her here with her healers, eliminate the prince, eliminate this, and that gives you the interior access to that air defense. You have to keep in mind that she can see this over the wall, and that is going to put her under threat for these singles. But if you start the dragons right away, you can then put yourself in a position where you're like, okay, I've got the attack moving, and you're just watching for the activity of the singles. You get your poison down to deal with the clan castle. You notice these singles might turn this way, or maybe the back one turns that way, but this front one is dealing with the dragons, or maybe this one is focused on the blimp and the Yeti that lands on your town hall here. And that's where freezes come into play. You can freeze this mess. One freeze takes care of so much here. One freeze takes care of so much right here. And then, of course, if the queen was going to do this side of the funnel, the king can do this side of the funnel. Drop the king on, to the right of this workshop. King turns for the gold mine. King turns for the pet house. King turns for this. King goes here. King goes here. And when the king's right here, well, guess what? The queen's going to see him. The queen's going to start shooting him. She might jump the wall. Even so, a second super wall breaker breaks you into here. You can clear this compartment. And guess what? Your dragons are going to go like this. They're going to scoop into here. And I think you overwhelm it quite nicely. Quite easily. So yeah. Why don't I go ahead and make a composition that I think would have helped. Queen like this. Healer puppet. We have Warden like this. And then, of course, you are going for Eternal Tome. And I believe Rage, which I think is the play. And then Prince. Okay. Army. No healers. If you're using the healer puppet, cool. Oh my gosh, it's a spider. It dropped down right in front of my microphone. You can't see it, but I can. It is. He's climbing back up. I guess he knows I'm looking at him. Interesting. Okay. Let's get those spells right. Let's call it 5 zaps. I think there is value in zapping the sweeper that's facing your dragons. I think there is value in zapping the air defense that your dragons immediately will be attacking from. Let's get 2 rages. Let's get freezes, or a poison, and then I'd probably end up taking CC freezes. All right, so let's get dragons. Let's get a couple of these. Those are always good. I'm just spitballing the composition right now. Let's get 2 super wall breakers. Let's get a handful of rocket loons. And what does that give us? 16 remaining space. You could even drop in a headhunter to help your king, although it might not be necessary. Would it just be good to take more rocket loons? Keep it simple. Simple comp. Uber simple. Keep it really simple. And then for your siege machine, I think taking the blimp, because you like the blimp, is the way. For the clan castle, you are wanting to take the Yetis. We'll accept that. Yeti like that. And then as well, we can probably, because it's an air army, perhaps you would then drop a couple of these and one of these, right? You can perhaps pull a red mine that would be on the town hall. So the barbarians are there to, get a spring trap. Should he potentially have a trap right by his town hall to throw Yetis. And then your CC spell, You can use totems, probably. Either that or just take, I would say take more freezes. This, you have the king. And yeah, run this. Run this. I'm having a hard time lining up the giant arrow. You'll get better at it. You'll get better at it. You'll get better at seeing it. I'm pretty good at it at these lower town halls. I have a harder time with it up at Town Hall 18. Because I feel like at Town Hall 18, once you put down a naked queen, it can be really stressful holding, right? Because you don't want her to take too much damage before she gets that tank out. But the action figure heals her passively over time. She has like a slow heal. And so you can take some damage and usually be okay, but that is the composition that I would suggest maybe trying on that particular base. Right here. You can't, you can't see the clan castle. So I'll at least show it right here. Try this out. I'll talk through this attack once more so you can see kind of what I was on about. It was this one. What's crazy too is you have access to the RC, and this got so close. This got way too close, man. This got way too close. So what I basically just described was getting this done with only 3 heroes. And I think I could, on my 13, get this done confidently with only 3 heroes. But you having the access to the RC, you don't need to throw in the RC with the dragons. In fact, it's probably better that you don't. Why? Because the RC is going to get jammed up by ice golems. You want to avoid that if at all possible. Right? Like, allow your dragons to go in first. Allow the ice golems to trigger onto your archer queen. Your queen value would have been arrow from here to here. Ensuring she gets the funnel, you know, by getting this and this and this all taken out. Breaking her here. Raging her once. Ideally, she's going to be able to handle this. But as soon as you drop this rage here, that's when you drop your king to this workshop. He's going to start moving to the right. You would zap this air defense, zap that sweeper. There's only 1 air defense left, and your queen's about to kill it. Right? Your dragons then get dropped basically from here down to this side. They will end up converging and moving in towards this eagle artillery here. Your king, when he gets right here to this camp, you can see the range on the queen. The queen's going to jump the wall or not. Maybe she doesn't. Kind of depends. I think she will jump the wall, though. She's going to jump the wall, and then your king's going to aggro onto her. King murders queen. I would say you should still wall break, like right in front of this archer tower, so that he hits this. He then turns in, and guess what? You've eliminated another side of defenses, and the dragons really only have one place to go, and that is to home. Dragons go home. Here, you rage eternal. You're dropping your freezes to make sure the scatter shot and these single targets don't mess with you too hard. 1 freeze, I believe, it definitely gets this. I'm not sure if 1 freeze will touch the town hall plus this. I'm not sure. I think it might be out of range. But I know this right here is, in fact, close enough to get a 3 structure freeze. So 1 freeze to these 3. Basically right on top of the single, we'll freeze both of those. So yeah, okay. I've talked a lot about that one hit. Let's move on. Let's watch my hits real quick. Forgot exactly what I did with this base. At Town Hall 13 and Town Hall 12, I've figured out that forcing a Flame Flinger on every single base is the way to play. Flame Flingers in general are just unbelievably strong. They can claim so much free value. They can, and it's all defense value. It's not like you put a siege down and you'll get garbage for it. No, it's always defensive value, which removes pressure from your heroes, removes pressure from your eventual kill squad. And right here, I am going for his Eagle Artillery. I want to hit that Eagle, if at all possible. At least I think I was. But it's all about just trickling in a couple Rocket Loons here and there. Putting the Flinger beside the Warden was a very, very easy choice. This gets a little awkward too because of the Ice Golems, and the Rage ends up kind of wearing off because I have to kill these Ice Golems while dealing with his Prince. I actually end up dropping a second Rage right here, which might have been kind of wild. So, throw to the middle, double quake to take down the Eagle, and now the core's gutted. It's all weak defense. Infernos are gone. It's looking hot. The Flinger is still going, by the way. The Flinger is still going to claim the Archer Tower. That's a W, and the Queen gets dropped up for the Town Hall compartment. The Rocket Loon is always there to trip a Black Mine in front of your super minions. Now the Warden merges in with the super minions here. I arrow now. Queen does go down here, but it ends up being fine. I still have 16 Rocket Loons. I still have my RC. And that's when the RC gets dropped. Immediate Seeking Shield eliminates one of the final air defenses, which then means I totem over the fourth and final air defense and throw in Rocket Loons. I'm sitting on 10 Rocket Loons. I'm sitting on 2 spells. All the cleanups down. And again, this is just taking it apart piece by piece. There is a little bit of, pivoting and massaging to the attack that you have to do once the attack starts. It's not like I can look at the base and know exactly where everything is going to go based on where I drop him. But I do know that if I drop him in a certain location, I need to eliminate X, Y, and Z to promote him to move a certain direction. And then you just kind of react to that. You use your spells liberally on your Warden. Make sure you get the Clan Castle down. Make sure the Warden lives. Spelling to freeze a single, using your invises to break the single target beam. Value play. See what William does at number 7. Ooh, a little Gobo Witch. Golems, bowlers, and witches. Only 2 bowlers though. Let's see where the bowlers go. So we just full sends from the bottom left. I think what he recognizes here is he sees all that splash damage. It's focused around the core of the base. All these wizard towers, namely. So if he gets a solid funnel, and he goes right into the core of the base, the witches should remain relatively protected, and he shouldn't have terrible issues with this. Good use of skeleton spells to distract a single target Inferno there. That would ideally give permission to the Queen to shoot over the wall at it, but she's sort of hanging to the right there. King's ability can go off at any time now. Beautiful. Opens up the entire core of the base, which means that the witches, the bowlers, the golems can have free reign to move around and do whatever they want. Look at these single skellies that are onto the single, those skellies onto the single there. And he's got 2 rages. He's got 2 freezes. He's got a Warden ability left. Oh no. No active ability. That's Rage and Life. And he's still pushing. He's got an unpopped, he's got 2 unpopped Yetis. He's got his action figure full HP. He's still got 2 extra rages. He's hanging out right now. Uses the freeze to protect the Warden because having that persistent rage from the rage gem. Also the persistent life gem. Very, very high value. Very good. And the question is, does he need these rages? The answer is no. He's going to swag 2 rages. This is super GG. Like, super GG hit. Was it a bit spammy? Yes. However, using the spells correctly, understanding when to pop the king, understanding when to use things. He uses it to clean up. That's all that was needed. He didn't need those rages. GG. GG. Love those hits out of William. Let's see who did this one. Okay, this was me. This was another fun one. I Warden Charge from the right side, and my idea is I absolutely want to hit the Eagle Artillery. It's in the middle of so much. It's a high value fireball. This trick over here with the totem plus the baby dragon and the headhunter allows me to pull 3 Teslas in front of the town hall. And that also allows me to take down the mortar, free up this corner for the flame flinger. GG. I could not fling that side unless I dealt with the queen. So sacrificing a totem for that purpose ends up being absolutely beautiful play. I'm dropping a handful of rocket loons. I did know going into, like, while planning this, that I was going to need to invest a significant number of rocket loons to get the funnel that I actually wanted. So right here, pause. I see that 1 super wizard has come out of the clan castle. I've got 5 air skellies, and I've got him into the position that I need him. He's right in line with this Eagle Artillery, and I see, okay, he's going to get locked in place here. It's time to do the invis trick. You can argue that if these air skellies had not come out the Warden, I would not have been able to accomplish this invis trick safely. If I were to invis these 3, if I were to invis this, it would have then sent him away from the Eagle or directly at the Eagle, in which case he would have been targeted by 4 expos plus the scatter. And Eagle Artillery fire raining down on top, he could have died very, very fast. But what I noticed was, that's there. I've got air skellies too. So I can go for this trick right now. I have time where he's going to be parked. 2 invises is enough to get me to the core. And there we go. Eliminated that juicy core. The Eagle Artillery is done. 1 fine point here, I could have rocket looned for this mortar here, and the flinger could have even gone further for me here. I do regret not having seen that, but I think at this point I was also thinking, okay, where do I drop the queen? How is this shaping up? What does this look like? Arrow across here. Eliminates archer tower. Cannon. Air defense. Another cannon. And takes trash. I then drop the minion prince with the queen. Prince is going to help funnel the queen. And we have severely wounded the core of the base. Flames from the flame flinger. Claim another Tesla right there. And the flames are still claiming HP from the town hall and those infernos. Queen steps in. She's going to have a nice easy time. 1 shot there. Freeze just to make sure we're able to take down the town hall without any problems. We get the sweeper. GG. And we don't even need the royal champion. We are sitting on 2 rage. We're sitting on an invis. We're sitting on our poison. We're sitting on a totem. We didn't need any of it. We had a lot of rocket loons left up too. Beautiful hit there. Really liked planning that one. All right, next up. Let's see what Medago did. 6? Whoa, it's a lot of loons. Holy cow, brother. It's a lot of balloons. I think I remember this hit. I think he hastes over that right there. He does go ahead and zaps out all the air defenses. Remaining, he has 1 haste. And tons of loons. It makes me so nervous seeing him throw down all those loons like that, though. Like, legit. 1 red mine can do so much damage to him right here. They're moving in for these multis. They make it. Okay. Queen's ability is still intact. What was she on? Invisibility Vial and Healer Puppet. Interesting choice. I don't see anyone using Invisibility Vial these days. It's not quite as strong, but it does give you a handful of powerful shots. But it's not a set number of shots. It's on a timer. It's not like the Rocket Spear where you get X number of hits with increased damage and range. I think that would be an interesting change to the Invisibility Vial. Like, say they buffed Invis Vial to function like the Rocket Spear. Or the, I think, is it Metal Pants or the attack weight? Forget. Hold on a second. I think that would be a really cool change for the Invis Vial. Right? She'd get X number of shots, and she would remain invisible until she got all those shots off. I think that would actually make Invisibility Vial meta. This right here, right? Attack count. Where is this? This right here. Attack count. Right? But Invis Vial on Queen, it's a duration. So if the Queen isn't parked for the entire duration, you lose efficiency. You don't get all of the extra damage that you could possibly getting. What's up, Thunder Thomas? How are you doing? Brother, kicking some butt, taking some names, enjoying ourselves. I think this could be a really interesting change. I wonder if they've thought of this. Making Invis Vial attack count based rather than ability duration. Because it gets really awkward, like very awkward for higher Town Hall players to even think of using this equipment when everything else exists in the game. I would welcome a change to the Invisibility Vial. All right. Let's at least look at the 13. I want to make sure that we're not like close to being able to upgrade. Oh man, I've got an hour. I have to deal with that right after the stream ends today. All right, let's go. Down to 13. Make sure no invis. You're there everywhere. Okay, that's fine. Nice. We don't have anything to do. But let's keep moving. Again, a little bit of a mismatch. Town Hall 16 and 15 on top. We capped out at Town Hall 14 per our membership requirements. Did I just watch this one? No. This was my first attack, and I think this one got a little squirrely. But we get great flinger value here, and that sets us up for some good success. This Warden charge over here gets us to the Eagle, which gets us to the CC. GG. Also remembering to put down some archers to assist with cleaning trash, which can be part of what can produce a time fail when you're doing these rocket loon charges. Time fails occur when you don't systematically clear garbage where you can get it. And an easy place to ensure that you're not falling behind on time is to go ahead and put archers down with your flame flinger, and that method, that that procedure, that process scales up into the higher town halls very nicely. And look, our flinger's all the way to the single with the 2 Teslas taking tremendous damage at the same time. They go down. And at this point, I'm like, where are we going with this Warden? Got a little squirrely with that builder hut up top. I dropped the fireball, hit the quake. Now I gotta be really careful with these single target infernos here. I knew based on my hero levels that I was going to be fine to kill the queen solo, but the moment that single locked on, I needed to have more damage coming out to eliminate that. I need to have my freeze ready. I see another single target beam lock on. I freeze. The queen is going on a solo mission to the top side. I could have, in theory, put down a baby dragon up there to assist, complete that faster, but here we are once again, systematically taking this apart. I popped the queen's ability, I think, out of sheer panic, really for no reason. Triple queen, though, is on the board. She's going to start moving. Helps quickly eliminate the expo. And this is very much GG. We still have rocket loons to clean with. We still have spells left over. And it's crushed. I really like that hit, too. Next up, let's move on down. Let's see if we can get someone else. How was this hit here? What was this hit? Oh, I was going for the fireball to his Eagle Artillery on this one. How's Legends going? It's going well, man. I tried out the Electro Dragon army today for the first time. And I like it a lot more than the other armies that I've tried. I think it's easier, it's user friendly. There's definitely fine points that you need to get better at over time. I didn't quite hit the Eagle, so I missed out on the single target and the Expo takedown. So it gets a little awkward there. I would have really liked to take one of those 2 Infernos. But yeah, I had fun running E-Drags today. I got a few triples. I had 2 1-stars. The 1-stars, one of them I attacked at the Town Hall, but got hit by double rage compartment and just couldn't seem to get enough damage off or distracted onto totems or spells. So there's definitely, like, I kind of picked up on the idea that if you're going to run E-Dragons, if you're going to attack certain compartments, identifying the contents of the compartment tells you how you should spell around them and if you need to worry about it, you know? Also, lining up the Queen Arrow to do what you need it to do is also very, very, very nice. Very important. You have to get it done. I don't like this Ice Golem. It gets really awkward. All right. Warden's going to attack the single. Good timing there. Only have to burn the 1 freeze, which I was kind of surprised by. You burn the rage, but now the Warden's just in the thick of it. Given time, Warden would clear the base by himself, but you don't have all the time in the world. I spam some rocket loons over on the right. Throw the Dark Orb. It's going to take all the pressure off of Prince. Queen is doing weird stuff. Finally, the bogeys go down, so she resumes her free targeting. And again, rocket loons left over, totems left over, freezes left over, giving the attack time to develop. I need to practice air troops and Warden funneling more. You make it look easy. On the lower town halls, it is. At least for me, right? This is my 3rd playthrough of this game. Like, if you count the number of accounts. Like, I've progressed through Town Hall 12 at this point 3 times. So there's some fundamentals that you learn at those mid-range town halls that like certainly help you at the higher town halls, but the game definitely gets harder, right? Like it's even more important to do your funneling and like figure it out now while you're a 12, 13, 14, so that when you get up to town hall 16, 17, and 18, you know, you aren't just relying on full-blown spam. Like it makes a huge difference when you take measures to set an attack up. When you make those fireballs happen, when you know how to, you know when the warden's not going to move, suddenly shift positions, or when he's not taking too much damage, that you can drop the invis. And part of it is like leading up to that, I'm usually looking at the two or three zones that I need to invis as the charge is developing. So that once I see, okay, here's a cluster, if I get to those two clusters, and that's all I have to invis, it means I get one invis left. I don't have to invest a third. And sometimes it's worth it to wait 15 more seconds, 20 more seconds to get to that point, instead of just ripping off all your invis straight away and putting a hole in the middle, and then the warden still has to charge to complete a funnel for the rest of the attack. But you get better at it. I would say warden charging is one of the most powerful components of that a skilled attacker can have at Town Hall 12 and 13. And I'm speaking on behalf of 12 and 13 because I'm currently playing 12 and 13 right now. I would say that a warden charge is one of the most powerful tools that a skilled attacker can have in his back pocket, because you have so much control over shaping the base. And warden actually at level 40 and level 50, he has some bulk and he has legitimate DPS. When he's level 20, it doesn't feel that way. But when you get him up to level 40, that's a lot stronger. He's a lot stronger. He's markedly stronger. So keep that in mind. I like this though here. Taking a little zap quake action. Wait, did he not? No, I don't think he zap quaked. I think he just quaked after throwing the fireball. No, he didn't fireball at all. He just quaked to weaken buildings. Okay. I barely even watched the hit. I was talking to somebody here. I also think that the Rocket Loon is the strongest troop in the game. You can argue that Rocket Loons are more powerful, or like throwers are super OP right now at the top town hall. I think Rocket Loons, for the majority of players, because throwers come in at Town Hall 16, no? Is that when they come in? Town Hall 16? Anything below Town Hall 16, I think Rocket Loons are extremely powerful. Town Hall 15 and below, when you get access to Rocket Loons, you can be surgical. And the biggest tip that I have for using them is recognize dropping Rocket Loons in 2s for cannons and archer towers, 3s for a wizard tower, or if you want to insta-clear an expo, drop 4. Mott says, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Of course, of course. Of course, my dude. Wait, let's see. Who got a triple here? What other triples can I show off? I've shown Zach. I've shown Doggo. Jose Marino. Let's see what this guy is. Oh, it's okay. So now, then we're into the sort of awkward bottom of the map that they had. Yeah, it's not worth looking at either, unfortunately. Let's see about this, Comrade Will. Okay, it's an interesting layout. Looks like Yeti clone, Super Yeti clone.
And I've seen Will do this. I commented on this, I think, yesterday, and I've commented on this a few times, but let's pause. The arrow hits 1 air defense. I think he was probably trying to get the 12 o'clock air defense, but probably missed the arrow. But that's okay. He does take one of the 2 sweepers out, right? This sweeper's facing down. And guess what? The dragons are going to come in behind it, so it don't matter. It's all gravy, baby. So here we go. Queen plus the action figure doing dirty work. Loons soaking some early damage, allowing the dragons to advance. Sends the Super Yeti clone across the core. Gets the Super Yeti Mites out with the rage spell. Skibbity bibbity bit bit bit. Look how dirty. Look how filthy that is. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's gross. Oh, it's filthy. Oh gosh. Oh yeah. Minion Prince ability. Slow down the Town Hall. Slow down the single target Inferno. I would be a little scared at this point of the raid, but he still has the Eternal Tome. He can probably use it right about now, I'm guessing. No? He's going to freeze the air defense. Eternal? No, he's going to hold. Okay. Eternals now. Ah. Okay, I guess he realizes it's not going to matter anyway. Kind of swags the Eternal Tome, which is amazing. I find when I'm running dragons at 12 and 13, I don't need the Eternal. I don't need Eternal Tome. It doesn't always do anything for me. I find better value like having the Rage Gem 100%. I think everyone that's running that runs Warden right now should be running the Rage Gem. Especially if you're taking an air army. You have to imagine what that is giving you. Let's do some simple maths so we can like just demonstrate exactly what you get. 45% damage increase. That's not quite 50%, but it's darn close. Level 18 would give you 50% damage increase. But at least at level 15 here, 45% damage increase. Close to 50%. You look at what a dragon does DPS-wise. 330 DPS. You're increasing this by about 160, 165 DPS. That means that you have, I mean, to zoom out without getting into the nitty-gritty number, you can imagine that each dragon is worth an extra half a dragon. You know what I think would be cool to add to ranked would be an esports difficulty level league. Bro, mozzarella, I think that would be amazing. I think that it would be a very small subset of players that could actually handle that and exist up there like that. Because Legend League modifier it seems to be difficult enough for players. Like pro players, the guys that are attacking all day long and are like competing in tournaments. Those guys, I can imagine being able to handle that. But I don't think you understand how difficult the esports modifier really is. The attacker is hella nerfed, and the defender is hella buffed. Legend already feels different, like quite different. But I don't know, man. I'm just not sure if that would really work for a portion of the regular player base, right? We're not talking pro player. We're talking like regular players. Legend League is difficult to say the least. Esports is a whole different story. Yeah, it is. It's a very different story. You're talking about like perfect, precision, perfect interactions, like having a perfect plan. I think hero charging becomes very, very difficult and or obsolete. Like Warden Charge by itself, you pretty much can't do it. If you're going to Warden Charge at all, you need to Fireball within the first 40 seconds of the raid. And then you need to start what's next. If you're going Warden Angry Jelly, you need to get that done in no less than 1 minute. Like you need to have it done less than 60 seconds. And you could run into some time issues. But Warden charging by himself, you cannot leave Warden to his own devices. You cannot do that on esports mode. His DPS is too nerfed. His equipment is too nerfed. His HP is too nerfed. He doesn't have the same solo push potential to survive and thrive by himself. So it really does change sort of what you're able to do with strategy in a meaningful way, in a really meaningful way. I think we watched that already too. Mozzarella, have you looked at what the modifier does? It's actually insane. This is the esports modifier. Defenses deal 20% more damage. Defending heroes' damage and health are increased by 20%. Attacking heroes' damage and health are decreased by 20%. That is a 40% differential. Common equipment level is reduced by 3, and epic equipment level is reduced by 6. So your common equipment caps at level 15. Your epic equipment caps at level 21. But you have to have it maxed out. It's not that it bring, you have it, you have your epic equipment at level 24. It's not going to bring it down to 21. It's just, it goes -6. I think that's the one thing that I don't like about this system right now. They could just say there's a cap of common equipment at level 15. There's a cap of epic equipment at level 21. Instead, they're basically saying, no, you still have to level all the way up to maximum in order to participate completely in esports mode. Otherwise, you're at a severe disadvantage. If you don't have that level 21, like that final level, usually on all epic equipment adds a nice bump to all stats. And you need every bit of stats that you can get because you're nerfed behind that. It's nuts. Nuts. All right. So, anywho, guys, that's going to do it for today's stream. I appreciate you guys watching today. I had a lot of fun running the Electro Dragons earlier. We'll be practicing that a little bit more. Like always, I get married to a strat and I try to perfect it. I try to get better at it. And then particularly with the Rocket Loon, the Fireball Rocket Loon strat, I feel like I was just getting a little bit worse at it over the past couple weeks. I just thought maybe it's not. That's just a sign that I need to try something else. And of course, we got the seasonal defense news today. Which, by the way, check out YouTube. Your super creators have published videos about that. And basically determined that if the lava launcher is in fact the signature seasonal defense that people are going to be spamming the most of, that means that ground is going to be nerfed substantially, which means that throwers and warden charges are going to take a hit in terms of their strength. So yeah, I can't imagine warden charging against the lava launcher. It deals so much damage when it hits. But yeah, that's going to do it, guys. I appreciate you watching. I do not stream tomorrow. I will be back on Wednesday around the same time, 2 p.m. Eastern. And with that, I'll talk to y'all later. Much love and peace out.